Welcome to the Parker Podcast Collection.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Welcome to the Not Watching Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
John Marson,
Marcus Hurley,
and Matt Foxley.
Okay, there was some news about Spider-Man, and it's the news that I've been waiting years and years to hear. So basically, Sony and Marvel have reached a deal, or Sony and Disney, or whatever, have reached an agreement in which Spider-Man can now take part in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is amazing, isn't it?
You can imagine exactly how that deal went down. It's like, either you let us have Spider-Man, or we'll crush you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah, what's remarkable about this arrangement is that no money's changed hands, apparently.
Yeah.
So
I think it's more of a case of, it's similar to what John was saying, but it's more a case of, give us Spider-Man or continue to make shit films with Spider-Man and watch everyone hate your company and no one to watch your films. Because I think, the Marvel Cinematic Universe have pretty much got it hands down. Regardless of whatever you think of their films, everyone goes to see them. They bring in money.
Did they give them something in return, like rights to some other movies or anything like that?
Right. Well, the way it's going to work, apparently, is that Sony is still going to make the film, make the next Spider-Man, but creative control. Well, and they say they have final creative control, but I think that's kind of a kind of obligatory thing they have to put in there. But ultimately, Kevin Feige and his people at Marvel will be
running
the show effectively, and so in exchange for that, Marvel can have Spider-Man to use in their movies. So
cool. So they get to ride on their coattails with the next Spider-Man films, basically.
Yeah, basically, and also it means that people from the Marvel films, like the Hulk, in return as well, it's like a two-way street, basically. The Hulk and that could show up in the next Spider-Man movie. There's a number of things that sort of are affected by this. So first of all, and most importantly, Civil War, the next Captain America movie, can have Spider-Man in it. Really? And that's quite an important thing, isn't it, Marcus?
Yeah. I reckon that's probably one of the bases for the whole thing being done. Maybe they just, because we all knew Civil War was happening. I think when Iron Man 3 came out, there was talk about it. So maybe Marvel just thought, you know what, we'll speak to Sony. No one liked The Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2, despite them not being bad films.
They weren't the success
they weren't. That's
Sony
what I
were
found
hoping
surprising,
for.
because I think on paper they were a hell of a lot better than Sam Raimi's trilogy, which was rushed. But they just didn't. They just didn't do anything. But yeah, it's a case of Spider-Man's pretty much integral to the storyline of how Civil War happens. I mean, it's very similar to X-Men with had the Mutant Registration Act, which is basically a superhero registration act. And Spider-Man is the one who basically says, "Hey, I'm Spider-Man." Well, in the comics he says he's Peter Parker, but who knows what direction he's going to take.
Well, that's it. It's the unmasking, and that's what I wonder is because to me, Spider-Man has always kind of worked because he's the one that's he's at school, he's working as a photographer, and the secret identity is always a massive part of those films. If they unmask him in this Civil War movie, then going forward, you're going to be dealing with a totally different dynamic with a Spider-Man that everybody knows. So,
to be honest, I think around that time, Spidey was actually part of the Avengers. So I think he was long past the whole sort of school arc, because he was a school teacher as well, and he was made homeless, and there was a whole load of stuff, to be honest, with Spider-Man's story before this even happened. So I think, I can't exactly remember what he was doing around then, but he was pretty much an adult. He wasn't, young adult, but he was a fully fledged member of the Avenger team. He even had a suit designed by Tony Stark, which was this weird crimson and gold thing with like extra little laser bits and stuff like that. So
I remember.
Yeah, so he was pretty much part of the Avengers, and that was mostly his day job because, well, he's working for Tony Stark. Do you need to do anything else?
Well, yeah. The thing is, interestingly, though, you say that he's kind of more. He's like a member of the Avengers, but they're still talking about because they're recasting this because apparently Andrew Garfield isn't coming back for this.
He was asked though. Apparently, I read today that Andrew Garfield was asked to do it and he didn't want to.
Yeah, he walked away. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Really? Why? Do you know?
No.
Did he give any reason?
Said that. Probably doesn't want to do it. Just get too tied into it and stuff. He's probably sick of their. Uncle Ben's coming back again. Maybe.
Well, if they asked him, then that would go some way to sort of explaining that they're, or at least, we're definitely not going to get another origin story.
No.
Which would be difficult to do anyway.
Oh, we might be.
Think they'd go back?
If they pick Miles Morales or whatever his name is, first Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a rumour, isn't there? It's going to be Black Spider-Man.
Or Spanish or any. There's tons of rumours going around at the moment.
Yeah, there was a rumour on /film this week that saying, where it's from Latino Review, and he was saying that they're not looking for a Caucasian white man to do it again.
See, that could go in with the unmasking, as in they pull the mask off, and that's the whole surprise.
He's like, oh my god, you're black.
Oh, it's Keanu Reeves. Oh my god.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves goes up and says, "I am Ethan Hawke."
He goes,
have you read any of the?
It's like a mask and another mask. Keanu Reeves mask, and then it's Ethan underneath.
God, it's like turning into Face Off.
Yeah, exactly.
Superheroes. So, Marcus, do you know much about how Miles Morales?
To be honest, no. I actually stopped reading the Spider-Man comics a couple of years back. To be honest, I think it wasn't really going to beat the Evolve or Die arc. That was where I reckon Spider-Man kind of peaked for me, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
That was, it was a brutal arc, probably the best writing I've seen from J. Michael Straczynski, guy who did Babylon 5.
Oh, God, yeah, he's known for doing quite a few decent Marvel runs,
turned it on its head, and it just ran with it, and since then I've just, I stopped reading it. I just thought, I can't, this is too much. But no, I don't really know. I'm intrigued, but one thing I reckon if they do go with the Miles Morales story arc, it would be a good idea because they've essentially kind of tweaked their own version, haven't they? I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has got its own designation, not how the main comics are known as like the 616 universe or something like that. The Cinematic Universe has its own Marvel designation. So essentially, it's all canon, but it's a parallel universe, so they can kind of do what they like, which is why, you can adapt stuff for films or whatever. So in that universe, it could be that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, gave it up, Miles has stepped in, and Miles does the unveiling.
Yeah, that would be
people out,
Uber
but
if they...
you kind of think it's Marvel. It kind of is canon because they're doing it.
Yeah. I do wonder if he's going to show up at the end of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
As like just not just as Spider-Man CGI sort of thing. Because they don't need to show you the actor straight away, do they? That would be cool. Because Miles Morales, apparently he's based on Donald Glover, the guy from Community. And so there was a lot of speculation that he might do it, but he's 31 now, and they apparently want to cast it a lot younger.
And Barack Obama
in the comics, he looks like he's maybe 17 tops.
It's true. Barack Obama and, you're right, Donald Glover.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a cross between. Sorry, I thought you were being funny.
No, I wasn't trying to be, but that's true. It's based on both the president and then American actor Donald Glover. So yeah, they're both busy doing other stuff.
So what you're going to say is that potentially when they unmask Spider-Man, it's going to be Barack Obama.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
He'll just be like, "Thanks, Obama."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about that whole story arc. I kind of stopped reading those sort of things years ago, but it's was it a big comic? Did it go down really well?
I think I actually tried downloading the whole series. I think it starts off with a mini arc, The Road to Civil War, but I think it spans something like possibly 50 comics. With all the repercussions and everything, and it leads into Captain America: Fallen Sun and various other bits and pieces. So it's huge. It's pretty much the biggest story thing Marvel have possibly done since the Infinity War. Yeah, this
Marvel Cinematic Universe is like really simple compared to like the comics, because that is just like a labyrinthine sort of thing, and so they're trying to sort of do something that represents that, but obviously that most people can get their head around, It'd
be like taking all of The Hobbit, all of Lord of the Rings, and the the Silmarillion, whatever that other book is, and condensing it down into a 45-minute TV film.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the Miles Morales stuff, that's a very recent arc. That started in 2011. So I didn't even know anything about him. But obviously there was the death of Spider-Man. They've done this for all superhero comic lines, but they all come back. Yeah. That should be interesting.
Maybe Tobey Maguire, whatever he's called. Is it Tobey Maguire?
He's 39 now.
They bring him back.
He could play
all is
Ben.
forgiven.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, because they're bringing Spider-Man into the fold, it's meant that they've had to shift back all the Phase 3 release dates that they announced at the end of last year. So the way it's going to work now is that I don't think it's confirmed, but he's very likely to show up in Civil War, which will be May 2016. But they're going to move Thor from July 28th, 2017. They're going to move that back to the November when the Black Panther film was going to be on, and Spider-Man will take that spot instead. So
Thor's still recovering from the sex change anyway.
He might be a woman by then, yeah.
You're going to change the name to Ragnarloks or something.
Yeah. So it means that I think Inhumans and Captain Marvel, that's all going to happen like after the last Avengers film. So we're talking like, I don't even know how old I'm going to be then, but
too old to go to the cinema, I should think.
Well,
and watch superheroes.
Yeah.
They'll be old hat by then. They'll have gone the way of the Western.
They might even be real superheroes by then.
I'm just reading one of the comments, and someone's put in one of the comments on this on IGN. They've put, "I'm still waiting on a gay Eskimo Superman. There are no characters gay Eskimos can identify with. This is an injustice."
Oh man,
it's kind of turned into a bit of a race war, It's like, really? It's comic books. Get over it.
Sounds like a Futurama joke, isn't
it? Yeah, completely. Gay Eskimo Superman. Brilliant.
It's from that, there's that little ditty, the I'm the Only Gay Eskimo song. It's from that, I reckon.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like, I'm the only gay Eskimo. I'm the only one I know. I'm the only gay Eskimo in my tribe.
Well, he's got a song already. It's got to be done now.
Oh, that's awesome, John. Rob, you need to find that song.
Yeah, all right. I'll get that on the end of this. Yeah, definitely. So any more thoughts on Spider-Man being part of the MCU? I was just reeling when I read this. I was just over the moon because I was just fed up with Sony making a complete arse of it. And, I mean, those films weren't criminally bad. It was just frustrating that they weren't, part of everything else. And
I quite liked them.
To be missing.
The Andy Garfield ones. I thought they were quite good.
He was a good Peter Parker, definitely.
Having to watch the bloody backstory again was a bit annoying, and they changed it a bit. And stuff, but it wasn't bad. It was better than the Tobey Maguire stuff.
That's what wound me up, was it being the reboot coming so quickly, like after the others.
Well, that's the thing. It felt like they were trying to correct it because they decided to go the full comic book route with Gwen Stacy, didn't they? Well, which was his first girlfriend. And, Mary Jane wasn't even on the scene, sort of thing. But then,
see, I didn't know that. Yeah. I've always thought of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Yeah. I grew up with the cartoon.
That wasn't until much afterwards. I mean, but there were little bits that were changed, like the whole bit where Gwen dies and stuff was supposed to be on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Spoiler alert!
Well,
no, it's all right. We don't care. It's not very good film.
If you wiki Gwen Stacy, is going to tell you anyway. But
I was really surprised. I was genuinely shocked when that happened.
You hear the crack,
I was like, no, he's going to. You just don't normally see like really dark stuff like that unless it's Batman, I suppose.
But even Batman kind of annoys me because he he's supposed to...
Batman.
No, but he's supposed to be a detective. Stop hitting people.
That is true.
Heath Ledger's Joker was right. Don't start with a head. You'll go fuzzy. You don't find anything out.
They haven't really played that aspect of him up since the Adam West days, really, have they?
I mean, I just keep remembering the college humour.
Do you want him like walking up a wall with Robin behind him, discussing the case?
Running around with a big bomb.
Yeah.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. That was terrible.
That's awesome.
The thing I'm wondering is who's Matt Damon going to be?
Well, this is it. Maybe he'll be the new
Robin.
Dr. Octopus.
Oh, he could be, couldn't he? He needs to get in there somewhere,
That would make sense, though. Having just watched Interstellar.
Or do you think it'll be the Avengers versus Jason Bourne?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, they may be at the box office, because I think they're doing another Bourne, aren't they? So,
of course.
Yeah, that's definitely happening.
There's another Bourne happening. Well, I don't know who it's going to be in it, though. Is it going to be the Heart Locker bloke, or...
no, it's Matt Damon.
Is it going to be Matt Damon, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because he said he'd come back if
Greengrass
did it. And so Greengrass they've found a script that they want to do, and they're doing it.
I hope he used a steady cam this time and not a shaky cam. That made me feel quite ill when I was at the cinema watching that.
Oh, the second one, especially in the car. Yeah. That was mental.
Just a shaky cam everywhere.
Yeah, that was nuts. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think they're still going to go ahead with their Sinister Six thing. Yeah. I think it's on hold. So Sony will do that, but again, I think Marvel will be like in charge of how that all works. But because Warner's are doing their, Warner's and DC are doing their Suicide Squad thing, which apparently has been confirmed is Margot Robbie, I read today, has signed up for like a 10-year deal or something. So there's going to it's going to be a trilogy of villain movies that will all probably have various Justice League people in it as well. So
isn't Tom Hardy out of that now?
Yeah, he is. But they're turning that into the DCU. So that's going to be. They've obviously seen how well this has worked. So.
You got Ant-Man as well, haven't you? Ant-Man's coming in, so that ties in with Spidey, doesn't it?
And Aquaman.
Aquaman and the Fantastic Four,
the DC thing.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
Yeah, that Fantastic Four again is one of those siloed off bits of Marvel, like the X-Men. Yeah. I don't think they'll ever get X-Men back. Do you?
I don't know. It's a shame.
I don't know.
They've got so many characters in X-Men. They've got Wolverine. You know what I mean? They've got so much to play with.
Well, Wolverine's in the. He links up with the Avengers, isn't he?
Well, he's in it. Yeah,
in the comics.
He's an Avenger.
He's an Avenger.
Well, that's it. He's
not allowed to.
Yeah, but he can't. Like Spider-Man couldn't before. But I don't know. I think they realise Spidey needs to play with his friends. Because he's all on his own.
What would have been cool was if they've somehow managed to get Hugh Jackman and deny it completely because he just remains in costume. The old yellow spandex Wolverine costume turns up in an Avengers film, kicks ass. You can tell his voice, but they just flat deny it. So no, Didn't see his face.
The thing is, though, if they were going to do Wolverine in the MCU, he would be more that way, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be Hugh Jackman. I reckon because Hugh Jackman said he won't stop playing him till he's dead. So
Really?
So when Hugh Jackman dies,
He's going to have an accident, isn't he?
Yeah.
yeah, he's going to. Or when he just gets too much of a granddad to play it, maybe we'll get X-Men in the MCU. But by then, Tony Stark will be 90 by then, and no one will care, I suppose.
He'll never get too old because it's there's story arcs for that. There's Old Man Wolverine and all.
Oh god, yeah.
It goes on forever.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point. Actually, they could turn it into like a a protege thing because you've got X-23, haven't you? The younger one. With like a girl with two females and stuff, yeah. So they could keep it going for the next. They could try and match Marvel's cinematic universe. So we could have Old Man Wolverine in 2022, whatever it is.
Oh, is this like the next generation sort of thing?
Yeah, kind of. But X-23's been around for a while. A long while.
But they could play it that way, though, couldn't they? With X-23 coming in and becoming like the Old Man Wolverine training her up, mix those two arcs together.
Yeah, because I suppose by then most of the demographic it's aimed for will have grown up with that stuff anyway. So
well, you've got Justice League as well. That's supposed to be. They're making that as well, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the DCU. Yeah, they've plotted out films like Marvel have. They've got films plotted up to like 2020.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, Aquaman, though, I just don't get
Aquaman. Scraping the bottom of the ocean,
and Cyborg. I couldn't even tell you who Cyborg is.
He's a cyborg.
Yeah, he's obviously a cyborg.
Teen Titans cartoon. That's it.
I don't know
what
he's...
still Jason Momoa for Aquaman?
Yeah, they released a picture of him earlier in the week.
Really?
In the costume?
They've tattooed him all up, basically. He looks like Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, basically. And it says on the poster, like, the Seven will rise, or something about the Seven. And, of course, everyone's like, the Seven Seas, or the 7 members of the Justice League, which I think the 7 is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, the Flash, and
Wonder Woman. Did you say it?
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, and no, it's the Green Lantern. But then you've also got Green Arrow as well. I guess he's too busy doing TV or something.
Yeah.
Because none of that's going to link up, apparently, which is a bit rubbish.
Yeah, but Aquaman needs his yellow trunks or whatever it is,
Oh, no. Yeah, like Wonder Woman needs her like blue and red suit, but that's not happening.
Yeah.
They've got to strip all the colour out of it, make it dark,
They've got to do something to, a little bit of a nod to how crap the comic for Aquaman was.
Yeah, it's dreadful.
They've got to do something like he'll have that suit folded up in his chest of drawers or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that was how they did it in Entourage, when he was like, I thought I find it really hard to deal with like the fact that there's actually an Aquaman film happening.
After the running joke in Entourage.
Well, and James Cameron isn't doing it, I don't think. But
I mean, it could be quite good, really, if you think about it. Special effects, it's all going to be underwater and stuff. That could be quite cool.
It'll probably cost a fortune as well, because all underwater stuff's really... That's why they had James Cameron doing it, because it was like he always does. Well, yeah, and Titanic, he does all the underwater stuff. So like, of course, it's like a proper, feasible thing for him to direct that movie. But I don't know, comics and stuff. Anyone got any other thoughts on Spider-Man or comics and the inevitable avalanche of superhero films we're going to have
Doctor
every
Strange.
few months?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Strange could be good. That's going to be old Benedict Cumberbum.
Bend it like Beckham.
Doctor Strange does actually turn up in one or two Spider-Man stories as well. They've got a weird sort of crossover, because there's another mystic character in the old Spider-Man universe called Madam Webb, who's, in typical Marvel fashion, is an interdimensional being that summons all of the alternative world Spider-Men together to battle against some demonic force or other. I think it's the demon out of Doctor Strange, actually. Dormammu. I could be completely wrong, but I think
Dormammu.
yeah, there's some big, massive, flamey head, evil demon type creature. Basically, Ghost Rider on a very bad day, minus Spike.
Gambit as well.
Yeah,
Channing
that might be
Tatum's
the whole
license.
sort of thing.
Is that?
Gambit's X-Men, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But
is,
he's
yeah.
separate. But he's got a separate film, isn't it? Was it Channing Tatum?
Channing Tatum's doing something with that.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Oh, yeah, I
annoying.
did hear something about that.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand him.
He's my favourite character, though. But
Yeah, definitely. Same here. From the cartoon, though. I used to love it in the cartoon.
Come on, man.
X-Men cartoon.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the next one is Avengers, isn't it? And I think we're going to do an episode for that. So definitely that week, I think. So watch out for that. Right. Shall I wrap it up? I think we're.
I think so.
Well, Age of Ultron's the next one out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
can't
what
wait.
I said. Yeah.
That's the one I can't wait. I want to see I like the Hulk Buster. That looks cool.
Oh yeah, the trailer
Yeah,
looks
it does look
immense.
That looks like awesome fun.
I love the
And I like the
twisted
fact-
music for it. You know, using the weird Pinocchio song for it. That's when I first saw the teaser trailer. That sent shivers down my spine.
Yeah, and James Spader
Yeah.
Flipping hell.
does a good villain. Definitely.
Yeah, he's another actor that hasn't. Well, he's done stuff, done lots of TV things and different bits and pieces, but he hasn't done a massive movie for ages. And then this is going to be just his voice.
He was good in The Office,
He's
playing a
brilliant in The
weird,
Office, yeah.
pervy, kind of random wild card man. That was pretty cool. Yeah, no, we good to. I can't wait. It's going to be epic. You know it.
I don't think there's any other superheroes they could do now. I think they're kind of nearly done all the main ones, haven't they?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they're really reaching into the back catalogue now.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing would be an awesome one to do. Yeah. They could do it really well now with like proper special effects and that.
It would be amazing to see a superhero film where no one's very pretty.
It's a horror. That would be like more of a horror film, though, wouldn't it?
Kinda. I mean, it's not.
But it's like a horror romance, isn't it? It's really gothic. And
yeah, it's
stuff.
kind of like a Frankenstein style story, I guess. Really.
I've read about 4 of those books, like the Alan Moore stuff. I need to carry on with that. I don't know. I just forgot.
Yeah, get stuck in. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? They could
It's
one
a-
day do a proper Hellblazer film or series. One day.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, we've got that series out at the moment, but I didn't make it through the first episode.
No. But, you know, at least they got the costume right, so it's a start.
True, yeah, true.
and they're threatening to make more of that, although it's not been renewed. I'm dubious.
Yeah, I thought it had been renewed now.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check.
When's Affleck doing Batman then? They must be filming that now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's next year.
That next year.
Yeah,
Dawn of
yeah,
Justice.
because it was coming. I think it's really early next year because they had to get out of the way of Civil War, so they brought it forward a bit. Or yeah, I think that's how it's going.
Do you think they'll do another backstory for Ben Affleck's Batman, or do you think they'll just kick it straight in?
I doubt it. They'll probably do little bits of flashback, I reckon, but I imagine it's going to hit the ground running because it's more of a follow-up to Man of Steel, really.
But they did say that the next Batman they do to screen would be already in the role. You know, after Man of Steel, they said they won't be doing any more sort of origin stories for him. DC said that any involvement, whatever they do with the character, he'll already be the Dark Knight, the detective.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did actually say that. So any other film that would have come out, we didn't know about the Batman v Superman film at the time, but they said the next Batman film, he would already be in the role.
I just don't think they need to do any more origin
No.
stories for any of these superheroes anymore. Maybe like these new ones that are coming out, like Black Panther and stuff, and
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. Like we need to know who they are, but
Captain Marvel
honestly,
could be a
like-
long intro if they did the whole thing.
yeah. But
I'm glad they're not.
yeah, also, well, we'll see. I suppose it's early days. Don't even think directors or actors are attached to those films yet. They're so far off. But anyway, this has been the Not Watching Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk. You can get me on Twitter at Bobby Rocker, BOBIROKA.
You can get me at Wobbly John.
You can get me at MH Web Wizard.
And you can't find me.
Just as well.
Yeah.
You can contact us on email at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Jesus Christ fits in there somehow as well. And the crack was good.
Well, I'm the only gay Eskimo. I'm the only one I know. I'm the only gay Eskimo in my tribe.